Welcome back to another episode of the Late Night Show. I'm your host, Dr. Kojo, and we're going to be talking about 6 AuDHD contradictions that make no sense. 6 ways that AuDHD contradicts itself. Did I spell contradictions correctly? Contradictions. That's correct. Just making sure. 6 AuDHD contradictions. Let's get this light to be correct. We cannot start the show without making sure that there is no sensory nightmare. So let me go fix that real quick. Go ahead and use the comment section to let me know where you're checking in from and your name if it doesn't already show. I think that's better. Yeah, that's better. If it acts up, we will just put it off. We will just put it off because we don't have to do all this. We don't have to do all this. We don't have to do it. Leilani, what's going on? Leilani is checking in from New York City. Our moderator, thank you for coming through. Rainy Green says that they're supposed to be going to sleep. I'm assuming that you're one of my UK boys and girls. If so, thank you for your attention. It's like 2 a.m. over there, which is prime neurodivergent hours. So thank you for your attention. Sharo checking in from Manila in the Philippines. JC, Florida. Olivia, Mexico. Ontario, Canada. Stirred Up Candles is in Ontario. They're in Canada. They are in Canada. Maryland in the house. Jaquise from Maryland. Desi is checking from Ghana, my home country. Okay. Thumper, Bunny. Is that how you pronounce your name? So people are checking in from all over. People are tuned in from all over the world to hear what we will be talking about today. Texas, Lonnie checking in from Texas. Speaking of Texas, Houston, Texas, April 26th, the big Neurodivergent Comedy World Tour is starting, featuring your boy, yours truly. April 26th, All Jokes Aside Comedy Club, Houston, Texas. I hope to see a lot of y'all there. And I just want to say thank you very much. The ticket sales are moving very well. The tickets are being sold. So Houston, y'all have already told me that y'all are showing up and showing out. I see it in the numbers. So Houston, thank you so much. So the big Neurodivergent Comedy World Tour will start in Houston, Texas, April 26th at the All Jokes Aside Comedy Club. After that, we will be in Nashville, Tennessee at the Zanies Lab, May 31st. That's a Sunday in Nashville, Tennessee. I'm from Nashville. That's why I have all this Titans gear. So Nashville is my hometown. I grew up there, and there's going to be a homecoming for me. So we're going to be coming from the West Coast with a lot of love and a lot of neurodivergence. So thank you so much. Houston and Nashville, those shows, the tickets are moving great. After that, in June, we will be in New York City, June 11th. Next week, we will be in Chicago, June 18th. So all my neurodivergence, all my neurospicy folks, y'all are my family, and I cannot wait to see you all at these shows. It's going to be amazing. South Africa in the house. Okay. Florida in the house. Helena, forever grateful for you as well. This platform is nothing without y'all, without your attention, without your eyes and your ears. I can't do anything. Michigan in the house. Minnesota in the house. Florida. Okay. Ghana, Canada, Jamaica on TikTok, Jamaica. Okay, people checking in from all over. Someone says, sir, I'm neurospicy. Can we get to the content? Okay. Somebody's like, get to the point right away. I'm neurospicy. I know. We have a neurospicy audience here. So we will get to the point. Don't worry. Don't you worry. California in the house. Kate, good to see you. Andrea, Ohio. Aaron from Illinois. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Somebody says, I'm also neurospicy. Yeah, everybody here is neurospicy, I'm assuming. Either diagnosed or undiagnosed. But you're somewhere on the spectrum. Oklahoma, New York, Charlotte, North Carolina. Okay, so people are checking in from all over. And tonight we're talking about 6 AuDHD contradictions that make no sense. Okay. Now, the ironic thing about this is that you can separate these two. You can take ADHD by itself, and we can come up with a list of 30 things that make no sense. And you can take autism by itself, and we can come up with a list of 100 things that make no sense. All right. So when you combine the two, I think it's easy to see that we can have some contradictions here. So I have 6 key contradictions about AuDHD that I want to talk about tonight. Go ahead and like the show, especially for those of y'all who are on YouTube and on Facebook. If you're on TikTok, like it as well. Share it with a friend. Share this with all of your neurospicy friends. The people that y'all send the Instagram reels to, the Facebook reels to, the TikToks to, all those people that you send the content out to so that way they would understand you, send this live stream to them, because this is going to give them an inside portal into your life, okay? They're going to really understand you after watching this live stream. So if you're having issues in your relationship and it's communication based or moods, whatever it is, they need to be watching this right now. They will understand you more. They will understand you more. All right. And do your best to not spam the chat, please. So that way we can get as many comments in and I can see what people are talking about. So we can get that full engagement as I prepare my list here. All right. When we're talking about autism and ADHD, I think it's important to acknowledge that you can diagnose autism first in kids as young as 18 months. However, people don't get diagnoses in time. People normally wait until they're adults if it wasn't caught in those early formative years. And ADHD, we can diagnose it as young as 5, 6. But there are a lot of people who didn't get that diagnosis for whatever reason. I didn't get any diagnosis until I was 26. Growing up in Nashville, in the projects, there was no psychiatrist. There was no mental health professional. We had a hood doctor, which was just my cousin. Nobody was really going to take care of their mental health. So we were just raw dogging it. I was raw dogging it. I believe that my parents have been raw dogging it. They're still raw dogging it. All right. And now I'm sure that we have a couple of raw doggers here in the chat. There's a couple of raw doggers here and a couple of people who have just now got the diagnosis. So they're getting that help. This is for everybody. This is for everybody. Melissa, I appreciate that. And what Melissa's talking about here is a very, very relatable experience. All right. We have a lot of folks. So even though you can diagnose autism earlier in kids, what I'm seeing for adults is people are ADHD diagnosed or undiagnosed. Then they're getting the autism diagnosis after the fact because they realize that, oh, shoot, I have autism as well. They go get the ADHD assessment. They get the medications. The ADHD is now under control. And now all of a sudden, the autism has come up from the ashes and people can see it. It's in clear view. They can see exactly what's going on. Melissa, I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. All right, autism, ADHD, 6 AuDHD contradictions that make no sense. All right, to kick off this live stream, number 1, and this one right here, these are in no particular order, but I feel every single one of these. I really do, especially number 1. Especially number 1. This is a daily struggle for me. A daily struggle. Number 1, you love routines, but you also hate them. Number 1, and I'm going to put it here on the screen for those of y'all in the back. All right. Number 1, you love routines, but you also hate them. This is just too personal. I should just stop right now. This is just too personal. It's just too personal. It is too personal. I mean, where do we start? Routines. We know that when the routine goes out the window, what happens? Your mood starts to dip. You become depressed. You forget to leave the house. We know that routines are important. And guess what? We actually like them. We like routines and we like schedules and we like planning things. The issue is that we don't want to follow through with what we planned. That's the issue. The issue really isn't the planning part or the routine part. The issue is the follow through. Okay. And this is because you have something that we like to call executive dysfunction, which really sucks. And sometimes we use the term executive dysfunction and ADHD paralysis interchangeably. Okay. So if you're new to this community, if you hear either one, we use those two interchangeably. So you have executive dysfunction, ADHD paralysis. You can think of them as the same thing. All right. But the reason why I like executive dysfunction as a term is because it's a more all encompassing term. Because people who just have autism by itself also struggle with executive dysfunction. The autistic experience lends itself to you dealing with executive dysfunction. You have to mask. You have to have a mask for school, a mask for work, a mask for dating, a mask for friendships. You're 7 different people in one, not quite multiple personalities, but you're 7 different people in one. So when you come home by the end of the day, you're tired. And this is why you can't get the trash out. This is why it's hard for you to work on your side hustle from 5 to 9 because you're already pooped from the beginning of the day. You spent all your energy trying to survive the day and mask as an autistic person. So now you're tired AF. Lovita in the chat says no mask when speaking here. No masks are needed over here. This is a neurospicy encouraged area. No masks are needed here on the live stream, by the way. You can be who you want to be. Over here, I don't have to pretend that I'm normal. I can just be crazy and I can be me. All right. It's going to give you energy because the masking, it drains your energy. So if you're somebody who has autism and ADHD, you're being hit with a double whammy. So that means that you have 2 different conditions that are draining your energy. So now it's difficult for you to do any single thing. So normally what I see here is the autism part is the part of you that likes to stick to a routine. This is really the autism. I want to stick to a routine and we do things this way every single time. All right. And here's the thing that we have to really look at. All right. When you're talking about routines with autism, I'm not just talking about I wake up in the morning at 7. I go to the gym at 8. I take my protein shake at 9 o'clock. I go see a patient at 9:30. Then I go talk to a friend at 10 o'clock. That is routine, yes. But when you're talking about autism and routine, I'm also talking about systems and order, the way that you do things. So if you're autistic, the way that you get dressed more than likely is the same every single day. You put your underwear on, then you put your pants, then you put your shirt on, then you put your hoodie on. Some people do it backwards. Some people put their shirt on. What? Who am I to say backwards? Because I don't know who you are. But some folks like to go shirt first, then jacket, then pants, then shoes. But regardless of however you do things, if you're autistic, like just watch yourself tomorrow. Every autistic person in the chat, watch yourself, okay? Make a note to yourself. Watch how you get dressed, okay? What do you put on first? Is it socks first? Is it the pants first? Well, I mean, you should put the underwear on. I hope you put the underwear on before the pants instead of pants and the underwear. Okay. So I hope you put the underwear on and then you put the pants on. All right. But you'll realize that you have an order in which you get dressed. And even when you shower, next time you take a shower, pause and observe yourself. Do you wash your hair first? Do you scrub your balls first? Do you get your armpit first? Get your back first? You normally have a specific way in which you shower. You have a way in which you eat. Do you put the cereal first and then the milk? Or do you put the milk and then you put the cereal? If you ask me, I say you got to put the cereal first and then you put the milk in. If you put the milk in, then it doesn't make sense to me. But there's an order in which you do things. Okay. So when we're talking about routines and autism, it's not just your daily schedule, but it's how you do things. All right. And the video that I made recently, I talked about making the bed. When you're making your bed, let's say you're somebody who likes to fix the pillows first before you do the rest of the bed. If you can't find the pillowcases, that can throw you off to where you don't do the rest of the bed, because we have to put the pillows in the pillowcase, and then we can get to the rest of everything else. Pillows in the pillowcase. Then we make the rest of the bed. And if this is how you do things, if you can't find the pillowcases, guess what? You won't make the bed. So if you think you could be autistic, just observe these things, because this is what an autistic person would do. All right. So you love routines. At the same time, you hate routines. Okay. And this is where the ADHD part comes in. The ADHD part, between ADHD and bipolar, I don't know which one is I don't know who has more fun, the ADHD person or the bipolar person who is hypomanic. Now, mania, full-blown mania is pretty dangerous. It is fun, but it's pretty dangerous. But hypomania, where you're not quite manic, but you have more energy than usual, hypomania tends to be pretty fun. And ADHD, we want to have fun. Okay, so this is why we don't want to stick to the script. We come up with all of these plans, how we're going to get our stuff done. And then when it's time to execute, we don't do it. And I know that my team and my employees, they know that I'm crazy, but they're so tired of me coming up with a system as to how I'm going to get things done. And then when it's time to do it, I'm like, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it anymore. I was just kidding. I don't want to do it. I lied. I don't want to do it. And it's tough. The people in your life will be frustrated by this. If you're dating somebody and you do this type of thing, they're gonna think that you're crazy. And maybe so. There's good crazy and bad crazy. We're good crazy, right? We're good crazy. But until they understand you, y'all gonna be going in circles. It won't make sense. All right. It just won't make sense. And if you're single and you're neurospicy, look for somebody who makes an attempt to know you. And when I say know you, I'm talking about somebody who wants to understand why you are the way that you are. Okay. That's a good sign that you're on the right track. Now, if you're hooking up, if you're just trying to have fun, all right, yeah, you're just having fun. But if you're looking for a life partner, you need somebody who understands what makes you tick and why you are the way that you are. Because if there's no explanation for somebody who creates these routines and schedules, and then you break them when it's time to follow it, it could look like you're trying to gaslight them. And it looks like gaslighting. It's like, all right, why did you tell me that you're going to wake up and then do this and do that, and then in the morning you don't do what you said you're going to do? Are you gaslighting me? Like, what's going on? So it's important to know the AuDHD brain. You like routines, but you also hate them. If this is you, you need to know that whenever you make a schedule or you make plans, you have to give yourself an out. All right? Don't make plans without giving yourself an out. What does that mean? It means that on your schedule, there should be like 2 or 3 different spots where you can choose not to do that thing, or you can take a break. And keep in mind, things take longer than you expect them to take. So this is why we run out of time at the end of the day. So give yourself an out. Say, okay, I'm supposed to go hang out with friends at 3 o'clock. But if tomorrow comes and I don't feel like hanging out with friends, all right, I don't have to do it. I'm not going to hang out with friends because I don't have to. But if you force yourself to do it, it's going to make it worse. All right. And the reason why you don't want to do these things is because there's a perceived demand. It's the obligation. And it's so crazy because if there's no perceived demand on that task, you'll probably do it. But when you tell yourself that you have to do it, now you don't want to do it. Okay. And a lot of little kids get in trouble because, kids are like, I don't want to do it. And as a parent, you're like, I'm not going to argue with this kid. You're 7 years old. You don't pay any bills in here. But the kid would do it if you spun it in a different way, if you gave the child some options. Okay. And a lot of neurodivergent sadness comes from lack of perceived options. All right. You're not sad. You just feel like you have no options. Okay. And you do have options. Like Charles is talking about the taxes in the chat. You don't have to file your taxes. Okay. You don't have to file your taxes. But guess what? If you don't, bad things happen. They put a lien on you. The IRS will get their money one way or another. They're going to garnish your wages. They're going to come after you. But you don't have to. You ought to file your taxes. But you don't have to. You know what I'm saying? So look at things from that perspective. Like, you ought to do this. You ought to do that. You don't have to, but it's a pretty good idea to file your taxes, all right? We want to stay on the right side of the law. You want to stay on the right side of the law. Number 2, this one right here. This one hit me in my throat too. Number 2, you want everything organized, but everything around you is messy. Okay. Now, I don't know how this makes any sense. There's no real explanation for this. It doesn't make sense. But you want things to be organized, but everything around you is messy. So more than likely, the routine, the order part is coming from the autism. Now, the ADHD part is a big reason why you struggle to keep things clean. Now, keep in mind, you can be autistic and also struggle to keep things clean, especially if you're masking a lot and you're burnt out. And because when you're tired, you can't clean. And I don't care if you have a cleaner or not, you still have to put things away. If you don't put anything away, by the end of the day, your place is dirty. It's chaotic. It's messy. And now you can't find key things that you have to find. The keys are hidden underneath a pile of clothes. And then you forget to take the clothes from the washer to the dryer. And when you do that, the clothes, they sit there for a while and then they start to stink. Now you have to rewash the clothes again. And not because you have to rewash this load, the load that was next, we're behind on that. It's like one thing makes everything else worse. All right. So the reason why you're frustrated is because you want things to be organized. You really do. You hate it when things are messy, but you yourself struggle to keep things clean. You struggle to keep things clean. I'm looking at the comments. People are saying that they have doom piles all over. And then Brad says there's a method to my madness. And I agree with Brad. There is a method to the madness. But if you're truly AuDHD, there's a good chance that you'll be frustrated by how dirty sometimes you are. So if this is the case, if you have both of these monsters inside of you, the ADHD and the autism, you gotta be nice to yourself, because you're gonna be living sometimes in a dirty environment and you don't like it. You don't want to be in a dirty environment, but hey, we ran out of gas at 3 p.m. and it's 6:38. We have no more gas. The clothes are just going to have to be there. The dishes are just going to have to be there. It is what it is. All right. And even with a housekeeper, they can come twice a week. You'll still make the place dirty because you have a hard time putting things. Sometimes something will be on the floor, like a wrapper, like Butterfingers wrapper, something like that. And instead of just picking it up and putting it in the trash can, you can't do that because you ran out of gas. You ran out of gas, and it really sucks. You have to, and look, the reason why it's important to know whether you could have autism and or ADHD is because if this is the case, then now you know what you're up against. Now you have to figure out how to work with your ADHD and autistic brain. Okay? How do you work with your brain? because you can sit there and you can blame yourself, or you can be angry at yourself, or you can figure out a strategy that works for your brain. It may not work for anybody else, but a strategy that works for your brain. One thing I like to do, I like to use disposable silverware, cups, plates, everything, because I hate the dishes. I hate when dishes stack up. I hate doing the dishes. I hate when my hands get like all pruny. Like I hate that. I hate having to put on gloves to get a dish. I hate the dishes. So what do? I go get disposable everything, because I'm not trying to do the dishes. I don't want to do the dishes. Sometimes I feel sad because I'm like, yeah, I miss drinking out of a regular cup. But I mean, when my housekeeper comes the night before, okay, I can finally drink out of a regular cup because somebody will clean it tomorrow. But if not for the housekeeper, it could stay and collect funk and smell and everything for a week. And that's not, Charles, oh my goodness. This right here, food in the bottom of the sink. Oh. It reminds me of when I had to do dishes as a kid, and there'd be all kinds of food there, and then my mom would be screaming at me, and I couldn't opt out of it. I'm like, no, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. Oh, oh, oh my goodness. Oh, you'll clean for me, Denise. You're far too kind. Disposable everything, Leah. Disposable everything. All right. And I mean, this can feel like, you can feel kind of kiddie, or you might feel like you don't live at your house if this is what you do. But what's the alternative? You're gonna do the dishes every day? No. Disposable everything. It's just easier, because like I'm like, I know myself. Sometimes we have two versions: who we actually are, and the version of ourselves that we think we are. All right. So sometimes we think, a little bit too ambitiously. You're like, you know what? I can do the dishes. It's fine. Like, I'll just do them. And then tomorrow comes and you're like, no, I lied. I lied. I'm not going to do the dishes. I'm not going to do it. I've struggled with the dishes my whole life. 3 decades, I have always struggled with the dishes. Even the dishwasher, it's just always been hard for me. So disposable everything. That's been a workaround for me. Disposable everything. Now, this one right here, this third one right here, I have to explain this to people. And in relationships, this one really gets me. Really gets me. You want to be alone, but you also feel lonely often. All right. And if you're truly AuDHD, there should be no explanation on this one. You want to be alone, okay? But you also feel lonely often. And sometimes you feel lonely when you are around other people. Doesn't make a lot of sense. You want to be alone, and you feel lonely around other people. And sometimes you can feel lonely by yourself, but for the majority of the time, when you're by yourself, you actually feel pretty good. And people think that this is a good thing. I think this is a good thing, but this is kind of scary, because people, now this is also ADHD, but primarily autism. A lot of autistic folks can stay inside the house for quite some time. You could be in the house for 3 days without going out the front door. And guys, this is not good at all. It's not good. And I know people are difficult. Like, people get to peopling, and it's tough. But we can't be stuck in the house. Like, we got to get out the house in some capacity. Like you have to get outside the house some way, somehow. You have to, but you enjoy your own company. So that's good, because you have people who sometimes cannot be by themselves, and that's his own issue. And Zane says people are stupid. People do stupid things a lot of the times, but we are social beings. We have to be outside of the house. And Zane says, and do what? Leave the house, go for a walk. go for a drive, spin the block, go to your local dive bar and make a random conversation with somebody. Go to you have to get outside of the house. Okay. So you want to be alone, but you don't want to be lonely. All right. So you want to be alone. You don't want to be lonely, but you do feel lonely often. And sometimes you feel lonely when you're around other people. And one of the biggest reasons why AuDHD individuals tend to be lonely is not because you don't have like people around you. It's because you don't have people around you that understand you. So it's one thing to be amongst a lot of friends or like people, and it's a whole nother thing to be around people who understand you. Have you ever been hanging out with a friend and for a moment it just kind of goes quiet? Like y'all are talking and out of nowhere you just kind of stop. You look around, they look around. You zone out for like a minute or two, long, uncomfortable pauses. And then you're like, oh, what were you saying again? Oh, yeah, I was talking. You really can't do that in neurotypical spaces. People are afraid of silence. If you have to fight for the right to be silent, you just rather stay in the house. Like, I don't have to explain to you why I don't feel like talking, because now if I explain to you why I don't feel like talking, I'm even more irritated. When people understand you, you don't have to act. You can just be you. So if you have more people around you that understand you, or even just one or two, like one or two people that understand you, that goes a long way. That goes a long way, and it helps to recharge you. You feel energized because there's somebody out there that understands you. There's less to explain. And if I say all the time, if you have one good friend, you're doing good. One good friend, you're doing amazing. Just one good friend. All right. So you want to be alone, but you also feel lonely often. The being alone part is not the issue. All right. The only issue with being alone is we have to have some type of a meter or some type of something to gauge how long we stay in the house so that we can leave the house. And if you haven't been out the house in 3 days, tomorrow, please just go outside and touch grass. I know it sounds stupid, but I did this one day. I was feeling sad. I went outside and I touched the grass and I walked back inside the house. And when I walked inside the house, I started to arrange my place. I felt better. Go outside and touch grass. I've never met somebody who touched grass and felt worse. What, the grass is going to electrocute you? Or no, like go out and touch grass. Like it'll make you feel better. So nothing wrong with being alone. Just don't be alone for too long. But the real issue here is the loneliness. It's the fact that there's nobody that really gets you. And that's very frustrating. And one of the better things about the internet is that you can find people that get you. Obviously, internet safety is a thing. You have to make sure that people aren't creeps, like, yeah, so on, so on and so forth. But it's the feeling of being misunderstood that drives you up the wall. And I mean, I got to a point in my journey where I let go of my need for understanding. And it was one of the most liberating. Heather said, I go outside and smoke grass. Heather, whatever floats your boat. That's funny. That's funny right there. But letting go of my need for understanding was one of the most liberating things that I did for myself. I remember I was talking to a girl, and we were at Frog Hollow Restaurant in Augusta, Georgia. And we're talking, and along the way, I was like, I'll let go of my need for understanding. And she was like, wow, that's powerful. And I'm like, yeah, like I'm not gonna explain to you, like I don't need to be understood anymore. Now, do I? Yes. But in general, if people don't understand me, like it is what it is. Like argue with the wall. Like you don't have to understand me. I understand myself. And I have a couple of close friends that understand me. And the feeling, and I really feel like that's what love is. Like think about love. Everybody's like, oh, I love you, I love you, I love you. No, like don't love me. like make an attempt to understand me. You don't have to understand, but making an attempt to at least to understand somebody. If you make the attempt, that's love right there. Because you can try and you could fail. You know, you could try and you could try your best and still not understand the person. But if you at least tried, you feel me? If you at least tried, then that's love. You tried to understand a human being. And maybe you failed and maybe you succeeded, but at least you tried. All right. At least you tried. So loneliness, I mean, it is an epidemic. A lot of us are lonely right now, and we are in the information age, the AI age, but we are more lonely than we have ever been. And that comes from a lack of understanding. There's not people out there that understand you. And even amongst the neurodivergent spaces, not every autistic person will understand autistic people. Same thing with ADHD. But when you are within a community of people that have same sort of limitations as you, same sort of strengths, there's a better chance that somebody in this community will understand you. But it's not a foregone conclusion that they're going to get you. So just know that. Don't be surprised when a fellow neurospicy doesn't know what you're talking about. Now, the chances of that happening are less, than it would be with the neurotypicals, but it can still happen. It can still happen. Oh, Mickey Ficky, this fourth one right here. You notice tiny details, but miss obvious things. So you're thorough, but you're forgetful. All right. If this is you, come to the front of the congregation. Let me put my hand on your head. All right. You notice tiny details, but you miss obvious things. All right. You like to be very specific with things. And this is either the ADHD hyperfixation or the autism where you're very detail oriented. That is what explains why you notice the tiny details. All right. So this is the person who is writing an email. All right. This is a very important email. Okay. This is a very, very important email for work. You proofread it, you look through, and you realize that you made 3 typos. All right. You caught 3 typos that somebody else didn't catch. You sent this email to your friends and say, hey, this is a big email. I need a promotion at work. Huge email. Like tomorrow's a big day. I'm sending this email today at noon. Tomorrow is the day I find out whether I get the promotion or not. You send the email to a couple of friends. They proofread it. They say it's fine. Then you look through it one more time and you're like, oh my goodness, 3 typos right here. You catch the typos, but then you forget to send the email. All right. You catch the typos, but you forget to send the email. All right. And this sucks because the most important thing was to send the email. It helps if you have a grammatically correct email. That way you don't look dumb. But if you don't send the email, now you didn't hit send. You didn't hit send. And then you go into your Gmail and then you look and you see drafts. You're like, drafts? I don't have nothing in drafts. And then you're like, oh shoot, that was a that was an important email I was supposed to send. And then you have all this guilt and you're like, oh no, like I'm dumb. The negative voices take over. All right. We have brains that work twice as hard as everybody else's. So you'll spend so much effort doing every single thing throughout the day, waking up, showering, going to bed, waking up. Everything takes effort and energy, and you're pooped by the end of the day. Like at this time, almost 7 o'clock on the West Coast, 10 o'clock on the East Coast, y'all have probably been pooped out for 4 or 5 hours, maybe 8, 9 if you're on the East Coast. So you're doing all these things and it just drives you up the wall because You're tired. Your brain is tired. This is executive dysfunction. So even if you know the tiny details, you're having to use 2-3 times the mental energy, so you forget the obvious thing. So if this is you, you have to know, oh, Patrick, it is time for a water break. Somebody drop the magic word in the chat and then we'll get the water in. It is time for a water break. If this is you, it's important for you to identify the priority, and don't be ashamed if the priority is a dumb thing like sending email. Don't be ashamed about that. All right? Do not be ashamed about that. Big cheers, y'all. Big cheers. Thank you, Patrick. Big cheers. Get some water in, because there's a good chance that you did not drink enough water today. If you have autism and ADHD, I'm quite confident you did not drink enough water today. You're supposed to drink 6 of these in a day. Big cheers. And I didn't drink 6, so I'm a hypocrite. Big cheers, big cheers. And after I go through these 6 contradictions, and we'll do Q&A. But if you have the type of brain that you knows tiny details, but you miss obvious things, it's very important. It's very important to identify the priority. The priority is the one thing that you cannot miss. And in that earlier example, it was sending the damn email. All right. This weekend, I'm going to Vancouver, Canada. I'm going to do 2 shows at the Underground Comedy Club in Vancouver. So if you're in Vancouver, Canada, British Columbia, come on out. I'll hang out after the show for a while. So come out and let's talk and hang out. I would love to meet you. I'm going to do 2 warm-up shows in Canada to prepare me for this tour in Houston. I'm leaving the United States and I'm going to Canada. What is the priority for me? What's the most important thing for me to pack if I'm going to Canada? There's one big priority that should be head and shoulders above everything else. And somebody on TikTok said it exactly. It's the passport. It's the passport. It's the passport. So before I head off, when I do my checks, like I play this little patty cake game myself. Wallet, keys, phone, everything. Somebody said maple syrup. Now, Owen, maple syrup it's important to have your maple syrup, but I'd rather have the passport and no maple syrup than the opposite way around. Even the passport is actually more important than the coat. I mean, like, I don't want pneumonia, like, you get the point. But the passport is like just a little bit more important than the coat, right? Because it's March, it's still probably cold in Canada. All right. So when I do my checks, I'm looking for everything. I gotta check 3, 4, 5 times to make sure that I have my passport. And I'm not sure if y'all notice, but whenever you get a new passport, you have to give up your old passport. And then they'll send you your old passport when you get your new passport, but then sometimes they'll punch holes in it. So I have to make sure that I have the right passport, not the old one with the holes punched in it, but the right passport. Figure out what your priority is. Now, you're right. Now, having chargers, this is all important. And I travel a lot, and the airport is the #1 place where I buy chargers. Do you know how expensive the chargers are at the airport? They charge like 5 times the price, because they know that there's people out there who have neurospicy brains like mine who will forget their chargers, and they'll have to get one at the airport. So chargers are important, but I'd rather have my passport and no charger than charger and no passport. So you have to identify every single day. If you're watching this live stream and you think you're AuDHD, or even just autistic or ADHD, every single day you have to figure out, what's the most important thing for me to do today? What thing, if I don't do it today, is going to set me back? Normally it's 1 or 2 things. What 1 or 2 things must I do today and you do that thing first. You pack the passport first, and the charger should probably be second. Know myself, and I should probably pack multiple chargers, multiple, because like my heart is, my spirit is broken from how many chargers I've had to purchase over the years. It's not a good look. Not a good look at all. Not a good look at all. Now, the fifth thing, this also very frustrating right here. You can focus for hours or not at all. And that is the ADHD tax, Charles. You can focus for hours or not at all. All right. So when we think of hyper focus, we think about the person who has ADHD, right? I think that's the person that comes to mind. The person who is hyper focusing on a thing. And I mean, a hyperfixation can last all night. You got to be careful with a hyperfixation. You ever been so locked into something that by the time you looked up, the sun was coming up? The sun was coming up by the time you took a glance up, because you're like, oh my goodness, I've been up for how long? You're into a deep, 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 deep dive. All right. Normally it's on something that you actually enjoy. This is why you can focus on a thing for hours. All right. So when you combine, we have ADHD and autism, we potentially combine the ADHD brain that can hyper focus for hours with the autistic side of your brain that has intense special interest, and you can lock in on something for hours. But you'll have times where you have no focus at all. You ever had a day where you had the whole day to yourself and you said, okay, today I'm going to get a lot of things done because I have nothing to do today. It's a nothing day. So today I'm going to, go to the store, I'll go to the store and I'll cook. That's what I'll do. I'll meal prep for the week because I don't have anything else to do today. Hours go by. You're still sitting there on the couch. A couple more hours go by. You get up, you grab your keys. You start to make your way to the car. You're like, hold on, let me go get something real quick. Oh, I gotta use the restroom. And then you get distracted by something on TV. You're like, oh, hold up, let me just stretch and let me just. And then somebody calls you. You're like, oh, I haven't heard from you in a long time. Then you look at the time and it's 7:02 on the West Coast, 10:02 on the East Coast, and you realize that you haven't done anything that day. You had all day to yourself. You had all day, and you had no reason as to why you couldn't get at least one thing done. But it's almost like you did negative things. Like you didn't do nothing. Like you did negative 2 things. You did nothing. All right. This is very confusing for people to understand, especially if you're in a relationship. Because if somebody has studied you for a while, they'll say, I don't believe you because I've watched you play that game for hours. When you play the game, you're able to focus. When you're knitting or whatever, you're able to focus. When you're researching, documentaries on YouTube, you're able to focus. When you're doom scrolling, you're able to focus. But now I want to spend time with you, or I asked you if you could take out the trash and you didn't do it. You didn't do it. Let's say on this nothing day, right? Your partner went out and they went to work. All right. They had to go to work today and you were at home and they asked you to do one thing. It's kind of like when your mom says, can you take the chicken out the freezer? Like your mom would say, hey, take the chicken out the freezer. And you're like, oh, okay, mom. And then you can hear your mom's keys opening up the door and you're like, oh, I didn't take the chicken out the freezer. That situation plays itself all over again as an adult when your partner asks you to take the trash out. And you're sitting there playing the video game like, yeah, I got you. I'm off today. Yeah, go to work. I got you. Then they come back home. And as they pull in the driveway, they see that the trash has not moved. They open up the front door and they're like, have you even moved at all? You see how that's going to start an argument? You had all day. You had all day. You had all day and you didn't do anything. Oh my goodness. You're lazy. You don't care. And depending on what type of day your partner's had, you don't care about me. You don't pull your weight. Nah, I mean, those things could be true. But sometimes our biggest enemy is being in the house and having too much time. Now, the reason why you can focus for hours and sometimes not at all is because you struggle to regulate your focus. It's the regulation of your focus that's difficult. All right. So sometimes you'll pay too much attention to something that you don't want to pay attention to. And other times you won't pay enough attention to the thing that you want or should be paying attention to. So it's the regulation of your focus. And this is primarily an ADHD thing, but you also see it with autism. Because if you're autistic, right, and autism means that the way that you communicate with the world is different from how a neurotypical person will communicate with the world. So if you're autistic, you have a different language. So because you're talking one language and the rest of the world is talking another language, you're not going to be on the same page. So that right there, that will drain your ability to regulate your focus. And now you throw in the ADHD, it's like, damn, like, dang, like, I couldn't get the trash out. But I did win 3 national championships on NCAA with Alabama. I won 3 national championships. I got a couple of trophies. I won the Super Bowl on Madden. I played Call of Duty. I had fun. But I didn't get the trash out. And now, girlfriend wants to fight. They want to fight. So it's important to know that you have this type of brain that has autism and or ADHD, especially if you have both. You will really struggle with this sort of thing. And what I found, let's say you're having one of these days where you can't focus at all right? If you can't focus at all, the best thing to do when you're stuck in ADHD paralysis or executive dysfunction, instead of judging yourself for what you should be doing, stop wanting to do what you tell yourself that you should be doing. Because the reason why you're upset, why you have the internal conflict, is because you're stuck on the couch and you want to do the dishes. You notice how 4 hours can go by and you still haven't done the dishes? So instead of, like, the issue is not the dishes. At one point or not, the dishes will be done. But the issue is you having the desire to want to do the dishes, but not having the follow through to get them done. So if you no longer want to do the dishes, at least for that moment, I'm not saying let them pile up and let it get dirty, but for that moment, if you no longer have the want, the desire to do the dishes, that will give you your mental peace of mind back. This is one of the best tips for executive dysfunction I can give you. Stop wanting to do the thing that you tell yourself that you should be doing. Because not wanting something is just as good as already having it. All right? Our desires are what make us sad in life. Having too many desires. I want to do this. Still be ambitious, but when you want too many things and you only have the capacity to do a certain amount, it's going to make you very sad. All right? Because you just can't get that thing done. So if you no longer want to do the dishes, then for those 4 hours, you are actually present. You actually got to enjoy yourself. But if you make yourself feel bad for playing the game or for, watching Love Island or whatever, now, eventually, when you go do the dishes, you realize that 6 hours went by and those are 6 hours with no peace. You didn't have any peace. You tortured yourself for 6 hours. That's what you did. You tortured yourself and then you did the dishes. You could have given yourself the mental real estate back. So that way you can enjoy life. And if you enjoyed those 6 hours, guess what? Then you would do the dishes, but you would have the energy to then go do the laundry because you enjoyed yourself. You had fun. Keep in mind, you have autism and ADHD. So you have ADHD, you have to have fun. You got to have fun. So you cannot blame yourself for not doing the thing that you want to do. I mean, you can, but you shouldn't. You can, but you shouldn't. You can, but you shouldn't. Number 6, This one right here, I went back and forth with my dad on this growing up, and he never understood it. You need background noise to focus, but only want your noise. You need background noise to focus, but you only want your noise. When is somebody else's noise or a noise or a sound that's not approved? If the people in here have not approved that noise, then you are extremely frustrated. And it's going to make you want to pull your hair out. The little hair I have, it'll make you want to pull your hair out. Okay? You need background noise to get up and get going. More than likely, what's happening is that you're understimulated. We talked about overstimulation, and that's a problem. You're not supposed to be overstimulated for so long, but understimulation is just as bad of a problem. So I told my therapist about you because you made a lot of things make sense for me. I appreciate that. Overstimulation, it sucks, right? We know that's a sensory nightmare. Is this too loud and I'm too frustrated? Like, leave me alone. I want to fight somebody. At the same time, understimulation could be just as frustrating. Like we're low on dopamine. We need something to get going. I'm pissed off because I'm stuck. I'm pissed off. Like, help me out. Help me out. I am pissed off. I cannot get off the couch. I need something. Then you realize, oh, I need music. I need music. Oh, then you cut the music on, and it's your favorite mixtape, or it's your favorite album, or it's your favorite song. And don't let it be a song that you've been repeating all week. A song that's giving you a lot of dopamine. If you play that song on repeat, all of a sudden now you have energy to get the housework done. Now you have energy to send a couple of emails, because guess what? You are in a good mood. You're in a great mood now. So now you're actually sending emails. You can be talking to somebody on the phone and you have the background noise on. And not because you've heard your favorite song, you're in a good mood. So now you turn the music off and you go turn the TV on. And you put it on like Sports Center or the Weather Channel, or the History Channel. And then you have some background noise playing. So that way you have some type of sensory input. And now you're on the phone. So you're not really talking to somebody and listening to what they're saying on TV, but you just need it to be on in the background so that you can get the powers to do everything else. Now, when somebody or something introduces a sound that you did not approve, now you become very, very, very upset. You become very upset. Let's say you're hanging out in the living room and a friend's over. You've been listening to music all morning. You've been dancing. You've been stimming. You've been doing your thing. Now your song, and now your friend wants to play their song. And they're playing it at a low volume. And you're like, nah, you need to go somewhere or put headphones on. And they're like, no, but you just got them playing your music. I'm playing more music to help you focus. And you're like, yeah, but no, I have to be in control of the music that's playing. I have to co-sign on the background noise that's playing. I can't do it. Or let's say maybe your friend or your spouse or somebody, they're doing the dishes. The sound of the running water could piss you off. Or the laundry. Just any sound that you did not approve of, because like you created this environment for yourself. So because it's specifically curated for just you, any outside noise, you're going to become a hound for any outside noise. And once you detect it, you're like, all right, this is too much. No, it's too much. I can't do it. It's too loud. And the funny thing is, you could be blasting music and that's not too loud for you. But somebody quietly playing something that you didn't approve is just way too loud. And it's not really the volume that's the issue. The issue is that you didn't co-sign that sound. On top of that, you're not in charge of that sound. Your friend, they hooked up their phone to the Bluetooth and they're the ones playing it out. No, no, no. I have to find your phone. Give me your phone so I can cut it off because I didn't give you the permission to do all this. You're doing too much. I didn't give you permission to do this. So this is gonna really drive you up the wall when there are other noises in the area that have not been approved by you. Okay. And it's important to understand that it's not a volume thing, but it has to do with understimulation and autonomy. Autonomy, like I've talked about this in videos before, but autonomy is a non-negotiable if you're autistic. For ADHD as well, because if you have ADHD by itself, you will struggle with demand avoidance. So autonomy is so important. You have to know that you are in control of a certain thing. And what makes it worse is that a lot of us are like addicted to control or our perceived control, when in actuality, we don't really control a lot. There's actually very little that we control. Just like the things that we can control, sometimes we don't control the controllables, but there's very little that you can control and manipulate. Got you later on, and we'll go to 1 minute 30. I mean, 1 hour. So 1 minute, 1 hour 30. You have to know that autonomy is something that if you don't get that, a lot of relationships crumble because you needed autonomy, but you didn't get it. Whatever your partner was asking you to do, maybe you wanted to do it as well, but because they told you to do it, now you don't want to do it. That could be the dishes. It could be sex. It could be booking a vacation. You just have to be somewhat in control. And it's not really you being in control. You have to feel like you're in control. Like that's the weirdest thing about all of this. We have to feel like doing something before we do it. And it's so dumb, and I hate it, but you have to figure out how can you make yourself feel like doing the task that you have to do. Because if you don't feel like it, I promise you, you won't do it. You won't do it. You just won't do it. You won't do it. How can you make yourself feel like doing that thing? Charles, I get it. You have to feel like you're in a safe place. One complaint that I've had before, me suck. Michaela, it sucks. One thing that I've had as a complaint in past relationships is flowers. Flowers, okay? I know women love flowers, and I don't get it. I mean, flowers are cool, but I don't have to understand the fact that women like flowers to get them. You say you want flowers, gotcha. Got it, cool. The issue is when you tell me that I have to get you flowers, now I don't want to get you flowers. Oh, you never buy me flowers. All right. I was gonna get you the flowers, but now you may seem like I have to get you the flowers because you complain about it so much. So now I don't want to get you flowers. And it's not really the flowers. Like you can go to the grocery store and get flowers, or actually I can go to the flower shop and get the flowers. Okay, I'll grab them. But when I feel like I have no say in grabbing the flowers, now I'm upset. And this has nothing to do with flowers. It really has everything to do with perceived demand. Because when there's a perceived demand, now I don't feel like doing it. And even as a grown man, if I don't feel like doing it, like you'll shame yourself into feeling like, oh, well, a grown man shouldn't have to feel like doing something before he does it. Because as a grown man, we get up and we go to work and we pay bills, and even when we don't feel like doing it. But guess what? We do make ourselves feel like doing it, because when you see your bills, all of a sudden, now I feel like going to work because I got to pay that bill. So now I do feel like it. So in order to get things completed, you have to figure out how to bring yourself to a state where you feel like doing the thing. All right. And that's where the medications can be very helpful. If we're talking about stimulants, you know, your Adderall, your Vyvanses, or I mean, even non-stims like Wellbutrin, whatever it is, your anti-flower monster. Wendy, exactly. And past girlfriends make me seem like I'm the worst person in the world. I'm like, no, I didn't get you flowers. I mean, I rubbed your back. I didn't feel like getting flowers. Like, I didn't feel like getting flowers. Like, you know, I rub your feet. I smell your feet. I just want to give you flowers because you told me that I have to give you flowers. But talking about the stimulants, the good thing about the stimulants is that they increase chemicals in your brain like dopamine and norepinephrine, and all of a sudden you have artificially giving yourself a lot of feel like. Now I feel like doing my homework because I can lock in. I feel like cleaning the house because I took my medication and now I feel like it. That's all the medications do. They help to increase your feel like meter. Oh, now I feel like it. Now I feel like it. And the drugs for depression and anxiety, they can help with that. But if you're modulating serotonin, that's more so helping you feel more like content. Whereas stimulants, I mean, stimulants go straight to the heart of dopamine. And they give you more feel like. It gives you more feel like. Now I feel like doing this thing. I feel like doing this thing. And whether it helps you feel calm or the voices stop and you can regulate your focus and you feel relaxed, it gives you more ammo to feel like doing the thing that you were avoiding. There are a lot of things right now that we are avoiding that if we did, our lives would just be easier. Okay. But in order to get those things done, we got to feel like doing it. We have to feel like doing it. So when a child is going back and forth with a parent and they say, I don't feel like it, believe them. Now, okay, like the way I grew up, kids don't call the shots. And when I have kids, like it's going to be the same deal. Kids will not call the shots. But I do believe that kids need to be heard. Like whatever you say as a kid may not, like I'll probably still do my thing. But like, yeah, I do want your input on it. I do want your input on it. But when kids say, I don't feel like it, especially if they are your kids and you're neurospicy, especially if you are neurospicy and your partner is neurospicy and your child is starting to exhibit some of these signs, okay, then most definitely your child has to feel like doing that thing because they have your genes. So this is just you and a little human who doesn't want to do this thing. So if you figure out a way to make them feel like they have autonomy over it, there are different things that we can do as parents to make kids feel like they have an option when they have no option. Like the kid who doesn't want to brush her teeth, and you're like, hey, I got a red toothbrush and a blue toothbrush. Which one do you want? And now because the child's like, oh my goodness, I get to choose. Let me get the blue one. Now the child takes the blue toothbrush, they run to the bathroom, they put the toothpaste on, and they brush their teeth, and they're happy, all the while forgetting that they brush their teeth because they're locked in on the fact that, oh, you gave me an option. Oh, that's cool. So even for kids go to go through a lot of the same things that we go through as adults. And ADHD medication and anxiety. That's the second question on ADHD meds and anxiety, Emily. So the stimulants can sometimes make your anxiety worse. Yes, so that is true. Some people who have real bad anxiety, the stimulants will make you a bit more anxious and on edge. And if that's the case, then you may have to try different stimulants. You may have to experiment with the long acting versus the short acting, or use a non-stimulant. But there's two sides to that coin because there are some people who are anxious because they're just like baseline anxious. Like you're always waiting for the other shoe to drop. Like you're just always anxious. Then you have other people whose anxiety comes from the fact that they're not getting things done. And if that's the source of your anxiety, then the stimulants will help. A lot of my anxiety comes from that second one. The fact that my to-do list has been piling up and I haven't got anything done, and it just keeps getting worse and worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. So when I take my medications, now I'm able to get something done. And then guess what? Once I start to do things, I feel a whole lot better. I feel a whole lot better. But anxiety is anxiety, in my opinion, is not a good enough reason to not give yourself the option of looking into ADHD meds or even non-stimulants, because I mean raw dogging ADHD, especially if you have autism as well. Man, like I remember my raw dogging days. It was hard. It was hard. I made it work. Like I'm shocked by how far I came as a raw dogger. But if you're able to look, it doesn't have to be like the meds. Like I say meds because that's what I do. So people think that I'm like trying to like I get paid off of somebody taking Adderall. No, that's not the case. I take the meds and they have changed my life. So I'm saying what I have done, because I remember when I was a raw dogger, and now I have a condom for my ADHD, and life is a little bit better. A lot better, actually. I ain't gonna lie. A lot better. A lot better. A lot better. A lot better. And Brad, I didn't even talk about sleep. I could really make a part 2 to this because we even get to sleep. We even get to sleep. So like you have like Vyvanse is like a long acting one, and then you have like an Adderall like XR, and then the instant release is like regular Adderall IR, and then Concerta is like long acting as well. So whenever you see XR, think of long acting. Whenever you see IR, think of it as short acting. And a stimulant is not a mood stabilizer. It can stabilize your mood, but it's not a mood stabilizer. A mood stabilizer, those are your antidepressants and antipsychotics, and then like your lithiums and Depakotes. There was no autism when we were kids. No, facts. When I was a kid, there was no autism. Like you just sat at the back of the bus and you took special ed classes, and you just tried not to let your crush see that you were in special ed classes. That's me. I was in special ed, but I didn't want my crushes to see that I was in special ed. So like I would find ways to like I played it cool. Like you weren't gonna catch me slipping. Like I was pretty good at research. Like I would play kickball, and like I was just one of the kids. Like you wouldn't have known I was in special ed because I'm not gonna let you see me leaving the special ed classroom, because it was gonna mess with my game with the ladies. So they thought I was like regular ed. The whole time I was special. The whole time I was special. And Robbie, funny you say this. I feel like this is one of the words that you can't say on Twitch. There's a couple of buzzwords that they won't let you say. I think I won't even say it now because I don't know what you can and can't say. But yeah, like the special ed was gonna mess up my game with the ladies. Like I didn't need Amanda to know that I was in special ed. So I had to, like I felt like a undercover agent for real. Just like hiding my, my special edness. So like I was cosplaying as a regular ed kid. What did I say? I think I said Adderall, XR, then Concerta, and then Vyvanse. No one knew I was raw dogging. No one knew I was ADHD until I was adult. And years of raw dogging hit a wall. Right. So you normally hit a wall with raw dogging. So like that was me at 26. At some point you hit a wall. And that's how a lot of people find the content. Like you get to a point where you can raw dog no more. And then you go looking for answers. And whether you type certain things into TikTok or Facebook or Google, like our phones listen to us. And then they're like, this person is researching like ADHD stuff. Let's put Dr. Kojo's content on his phone. But yeah, you normally hit a wall where there's only so much that you can do. Zane, yeah. Vyvanse, the C is an S with Vyvanse. C is an S with Vyvanse. It was BED class and 401 plan. They made me sit in the front and I hated it. Right. And this is the thing, like you shouldn't be like I don't have any kids, so like I haven't been to an elementary school in a long time. But you shouldn't separate. Like I get being in a special class, but if you're in the same classroom, you shouldn't do things to make other kids like you separate the kids who have like IEP plans and the 504. Like you want them to feel, like you want to sit with your head held high and not feel like, damn, I'm special. Like it's okay to be special, but you don't want to feel special, you know. So but look, if you're born in the '80s, man, yeah, like you said, it was no autism. You were just yeah, special. Yeah, othered cat. That's a good way to say it. And I'm assuming you're born in '84 based off of the name right here. '84, yeah. I don't know how common it is to have all three, but I've seen it a lot. Like I've seen this a lot. Like it's, I don't want to say it's fairly common, but it's not uncommon to have all three. You know, it's not uncommon to have all three. But sometimes, the same way it's tough to know between bipolar and ADHD, autism can look like bipolar as well. Which is why you have to have a good clinician who knows how to do their job. Because autism by itself can look like everything. You can have mood swings. You can hyperfixate on stuff, and then your focus can be all over the place. Sometimes you can feel like you're hearing and seeing things that aren't real. You know, normally when we think of psychosis, we go straight to schizophrenia. But sometimes you can be autistic and have psychosis. You can get a little paranoid. So this is why it's good to have a good uh, provider. Somebody who knows what they're doing. 84, 94. Okay, 92 over here. 92 over here. I was only 10 years old. What do you? Austin's talking back and forth with God. Serquan and Depico. Okay, those are two staples. Those are two staples. Two staples. I'm looking at TikTok. David 96, Rachel 78. People dropping when they were born. Okay, let me see. 93. Okay. 81. Another 93 baby on TikTok. Oh, Cherie on TikTok says, does autism ADHD cause you to have paranoia from childhood? So you can have trauma. Trauma can lead into paranoia. Yeah, trauma can make you paranoid. It most definitely can. Cherie, it definitely can. It's not just like bipolar or schizophrenia. Let me see what else we got here. 85. Okay, Brandy. 85. 88. Courtney. Emily 70. Emily look great for 1970. 72. Wendy, same thing. Colleen, I can't see your photo, but 79. 83 diagnosed last year. I can't see your photo. Robbie 80. Okay. Lori 70. Lori, okay, I see Lori. Who's that? Is that I can't see who else in your photo. But y'all look like y'all having a good time. 99. I remember when people who were born at 99, like I thought that they were young. 99, that person's in their mid-20s. Yeah, where are they at? 77, 70, 87. I have not seen a 2000s baby yet. I'm still looking for my first 2000s baby. 86. Okay, Trevor. 82. Lisa, you look hella young. Y'all look so. Somebody made a video about I think did I stitch it? Somebody made a video asking why autistic people look so much younger than their actual age. And at least Lisa, I'm not putting autism on you. Like I'm not putting it on anybody. but y'all look way younger than your actual ages. 76, 89, 98, 86. Matt, you look hella young. You look like you're 25. Unless that photo was from years back. 84. Y'all look hella young. Yeah, you took the words out of my mouth. 1970. Wow. Being autistic is the key to staying young. 2000. Oh, our first 2000 baby. On TikTok, we have another 2000 baby. Amy on TikTok is 2004. 04. Lolly Glock is 85. Trudell is 74. Katie 82. 1950. Backseat. You look super young. My guy, 1950. I don't even believe it. 74. 1970. Olivia Ray, 1970. You look like you're 20 something. 76. 98. Wow. 88. Oh my goodness. The key to being young forever is being autistic. Just turned 40. Let me look at Matt's photo. Bro, nah. That's crazy. Oh my goodness. Wow. 80 baby, best shape of my life. We tend to be late bloomers. That's why I see 84. Wow. 86. 80. You say in Florida too. 80. They have good hearts. Probably so. And I'm gonna study that more because I really want to know why. Yeah. 1970. What? I'm 40. Fountain of youth. Somebody needs to study this. Why autistic people are just so much younger. My goodness, this is no, Selena on TikTok. I think that I am onto something. I really am onto something because I feel like we're late bloomers. We're late bloomers for sure. We're definitely late bloomers. Colin on TikTok, I appreciate you. And Colin, not everybody who works at the psych hospital like doesn't care. Like I care, and I've always loved the psych hospital. I don't think I'll ever have a more enjoyable job than being at the psych hospital. So a lot of us care, Colin. A lot of us care. I look young, but my bones feel 60. Yeah, so how we feel and how we look, two different things. Because sometimes our back gets the back, and sometimes we feel like we're like way older, but we look young. I really do believe that neurodivergent people, like, we're late bloomers. Like everything happens later for us. We get the joke later. We tend to get into our careers later. I feel like sometimes we even tend to get married later. Like and there's science that explains it because our frontal lobe develops later than it does for people who are neurotypical, especially when you have ADHD. Especially so, a couple of years after your peers are developing their brains, you are developing your brains. So you have to give yourself a lot of credit because you're out here. Some people are out here raw dogging life. They're doing their best to keep their head above water, and their brains haven't even developed yet. And some people are feeling like they're behind because their brains just developed recently, a couple of years ago. So your timelines is just behind everybody else's, which is fine. We want to make sure that we don't compare ourselves to other people. Because why? It's not going to do us any good. Some of us have connective tissue disorder. Sarah, yeah. Even ourselves are late bloomers. And Chelsea says, I need a new psychiatrist. That's funny. Ours weren't meant for hunting. So here's the thing: if you let the world rush you, or I mean, if you go off of, like Leilani is saying, comparison is a thief of joy. If you go off of neurotypical timelines, this is a great way to be sad. It's a great way to make yourself sad. And if you look at what really traps people in this world, the thing that really traps us is envy. We don't talk about envy enough. I see that Rainbow Guppy has a brand new car. Rainbow Guppy has a brand new car, and I have my Corolla. I love my Corolla until I look outside and I see Rainbow Guppy with a fast car, a Maserati or whatever. So now, because Rainbow Guppy has a Maserati, I hate my Corolla. Envy, looking too much at other people. Now, if Rainbow Guppy, I didn't see Rainbow's Maserati, or maybe I wasn't even focused on that. I saw it and I said, okay, it is what it is. I'll be happy with my Corolla. But all because I saw somebody in their fast car, now I no longer like what I have going on. So envy and comparing ourselves to other people, and also, you don't know how much help people have. You don't know how much help people have. Austin, envy is that person has that thing over there. I need it too. Oh, that person has a cool toy, blah, blah, blah. And it doesn't make much sense, but we do this a lot. We do this a lot. Oh, this person's, spouse has this. Now we have to go and get a bigger house. Keeping up with the Joneses. I mean, why are you going broke to, it doesn't make sense. Does not make sense. Emily, thank you for joining. In 1970, that's crazy. That's crazy. Thank you for joining. Yeah, Yvonne, keep in mind, y'all can catch these replays on Facebook and on YouTube. So TikTok, unfortunately, won't let us, there's no way to watch the playback on TikTok, but on YouTube and on Facebook, you can catch the full playback. I don't do that, but I understand people do it. Yeah, I find that we tend to be a bit more content with our lifestyles. Lavia, thank you for coming through. Thank you for coming through. A lot of people who are neurodivergent, we tend to be content with our lifestyles, and we really just want to be left alone. But envy traps a lot of folks. A lot of folks. What about intense anxiety? The person on TikTok who asked that question. Oh, yeah. Austin, ask your question. Yvonne, that's funny. You eventually reach a point in life where the mindset changes. You don't really care about that stuff. Yeah. I think that's most people around their mid to early 30s. Maybe for some of us even younger, but at a certain point, you no longer care about that stuff. You figure out what's more important in life, like having a good nervous system, a healthy nervous system, being regulated, getting 8 hours of sleep. If you can get 8 hours of sleep on most nights, yeah, that right there. If I'm jealous of anything, I'm jealous of people who get 8 hours of sleep. Circle was the only reason why I sleep, and it will help you do that. It most definitely will help you do that. And the drain the company. Robbie, I appreciate you. All right, and those y'all who have to get to bed, I mean, the live stream is just about over now, but when you got to get to bed, you got to get to bed. When we were in our 20s, we could stay up all night, and it wasn't a problem. Like, we could do whatever, but then you get to your 30s, and sometimes in your late 20s, you just reach a point where you cannot survive off of those 3, 4, 5 hours of sleep. You can't do it. Don't try and do it. It just won't work. It won't work. It will not work. Nah, that's for damn sure. You ain't young no more. We're not young anymore. I think I struggle with envy thing more because of lack of sleep. Potentially. I mean, not having enough sleep throws off everything. Like you're just way slower throughout the day. You know, as kids, we would have bedtimes and we would get so pissed, and we're like, "I'm gonna stay up when I become an adult. I'm gonna stay up and eat all the candy in the world." And then you get older, and you're like, "Nah, staying up and eat all the candy in the world is not it's not the move. It's not the move. I don't want to do all that. I do not want to do all that." 48 hours no sleep, raw. Patrick. This is a great live stream. Cynthia, same. Jana on TikTok is saying, I need my sleep. I miss things the next day if I don't get enough. Yeah. And speaking of sleep, one of the reasons why I think bipolar gets confused with ADHD and autism is that in all three conditions, insomnia is a really big problem. It's a really big problem. It's a huge problem, you know, and we should talk about it more. Zane says, can you be AuDHD and still look people in the eye? Yeah, there are a lot of people who are really good at social cues and they're autistic because they've learned how to mask. Yeah, Leilani, gotcha. So this is Patrick, go to bed. Yeah, Pat, if you can get some sleep, that'd be good for you. If you can get some sleep, Pat, that'd be good for you. We need to sleep. We need to sleep. A Wolfpacker says, you're one of the reasons I realized I might be neurodivergent. Diagnosed in January at the age of 51. Wow. A Wolfpacker. I love seeing people get their diagnoses later in life. It makes me feel really good because now you're so much more dangerous. You know yourself. You can put yourself in a good position to win. Awesome. Yeah. Let me see. Yeah, I gotta head up. Gotta go get this late night gym session in. It's almost 8 on the West Coast. All right, guys, this is a great live stream. Yeah, Brad, it's bedtime, especially for the people on the East Coast. It's almost 11. But if you're neurospicy, 11 o'clock, the party is just getting started. This is a great live stream. The full playback will be available on YouTube and on Facebook. So either one of those pages. This is a really good live stream. Chelsea says, don't lie, Mickey Ficky. Mickey Ficky. So full playback on YouTube and Facebook. Once again, let me just say a big thank you to everybody who's purchased tickets to the comedy shows. Houston, April 26th, Nashville, May 31st, New York City, June 11th, Chicago, June 18th. I'm forever grateful for your attention. And even for people who don't purchase tickets, if you come to the live stream, I appreciate you. We're having a blast here. So this has been awesome. And for the people who do come out to the shows, I can't wait to laugh with y'all. And this is going to be great. The tickets are moving faster than I anticipated. So it's going to be really cool to get those 4 shows to be a success. And then after those 4 shows, we will add more dates. And I continue I'm getting sleep. I'm taking care of myself. I'm doing the basics. So I'm doing what I have to do to make sure that I don't burn out and that I can have the energy that I need to make my content, to do the live stream, to do the comedy, to do what I'm doing. So hold up. Next week. I think next week might be a travel week. Potential. I'm not sure. Potentially. Yeah, Vancouver this weekend. Oh, by the way, if y'all are in Vancouver, Canada this weekend, I'll be at the Underground Comedy Club Saturday night and Sunday night. Super short notice, I know. And the comedy will be on all platforms. Charles, yeah, it's gonna be great. So Vancouver this weekend, and next weekend maybe a travel week too. But we're definitely gonna stream on Tuesday next weekend. I mean, next week, we're going to stream on Tuesday. And if I am traveling midweek next week, then we'll stream Monday and Tuesday. But as of right now, we're still on schedule for the stream Tuesday and then the stream Thursday. Tuesday and Thursday. And the person who asked about coming to Minneapolis, Minnesota, I had a booker reach out to me about doing a show in Minneapolis. So I'll ask my assistant whatever the email said. So potentially we could add Minnesota. And the time, we're streaming at 6 o'clock West Coast time Tuesday, 9 o'clock East Coast time Tuesday. And today I am proud of myself because I was actually on time for it was like 6:15. It was like 6:15. Like I was close. And Rainbow Guppy, I am coming to Nashville May 31st. And the Nashville show is selling out really fast. I'm very grateful for how well tickets are moving in Nashville. I'm really excited about that. So yeah, next week, Tuesday at 6 o'clock West Coast time, right? That's 9 p.m. in New York City. That's 8 p.m. in Nashville. That's 7 p.m. in Phoenix, Arizona. That is 6 p.m. in Seattle, Washington. That is 5 p.m. in Anchorage, Alaska. That's 4 p.m. in Honolulu, Hawaii. And that's also 2 a.m. in England for my UK boys and girls. We got an international audience, so I try and have as many times that I put out there. And yes, Adam, we're looking to add a show in Seattle. I'm trying my best to get that show in Seattle for my Washington boys and girls, and even Spokane at some point. But Seattle will be before Spokane. Zulu time. Okay. All right. Awesome. Great live stream, y'all. I will see y'all next week, Tuesday. And I can't wait. This is a great live stream. And I know Tuesdays is going to be just as amazing. So until then, y'all do your best to get some sleep. And I will do the same. Peace. Take care. I love y'all.